Today, I want to dive into 5 subtle changes in behavior that often show up when a woman hasn't had genuine intimacy for a while. Stick around because the last sign is the one that really separates men who stay in the friend zone from those she starts truly desiring. Let's start with the first one. The first sign is how touch becomes a quiet way of communicating. When a woman goes without meaningful physical closeness for a long period, her body experiences something researchers sometimes call skin hunger. Essentially, it's a biological craving. Our skin is full of receptors that respond to touch and release oxytocin, the hormone associated with bonding and affection. When that craving isn't satisfied, even small gestures of physical connection become deeply significant. You might notice her touching you more often, but it's never random. These touches are instinctive and subtle. Maybe she lightly places her hand on your arm when she laughs, adjusts your collar when you're not looking, or lets her shoulder brush against yours while you talk. These moments often linger just a bit longer than a casual touch normally would. What she's doing is watching your reaction. If you pull away or seem uneasy, she might interpret it as disinterest. But if you stay calm, smile, and respond naturally, you're sending the message that you welcome her attention. Successfully navigating this first sign is key. It sets the stage for everything else. The second sign is a desire for repeated emotional reassurance. When a woman hasn't been getting meaningful masculine attention, it often creates an emotional gap that goes beyond superficial validation. It's not about ego, it's about feeling understood and connected. Before she can fully open up to deeper intimacy, she's looking for stability and trust. This often shows up as her asking more personal questions than usual. She might ask things like, "Do you think I handled that situation okay?" Or, "Am I overreacting?" These questions aren't just casual. They're a way for her to gauge your emotional steadiness and see if she can rely on you. How you respond here can either draw her closer or create distance. If you provide calm, attentive, and sincere feedback, you're demonstrating that you can be a source of security, which is incredibly attractive on a subconscious level. The third sign often shows up in the way she prioritizes time with you. When someone hasn't experienced closeness for an extended period, your presence starts to stand out more in her daily life. She may carve out small moments to be around you or initiate interactions that feel casual but are intentional. This isn't about being clingy, it's about her instinctively seeking connection and comfort in your presence. You might notice her lingering longer than necessary when you're together, sending messages that extend past small talk, or finding reasons to cross paths with you. These aren't coincidences. They're signals that you occupy a space in her mind that others don't. Observing these patterns gives you insight into her growing interest, especially if these behaviors increase over time rather than appearing sporadically. Sign number 4 is how her communication style shifts towards subtle vulnerability. A woman who hasn't experienced deep intimacy may initially be guarded, but as she starts to trust and notice your presence consistently, she'll begin revealing more about her inner world. This could mean sharing personal stories, expressing frustrations she usually keeps private, or revealing her hopes and insecurities. It's a way of testing whether you can handle her authenticity. If you respond with empathy, patience, and understanding, it reinforces that she can safely show more of herself around you. This stage is crucial because it's where the emotional connection starts to solidify, making your bond feel distinct from casual friendship. Your ability to remain emotionally present and engaged during these moments is what often turns attraction into something deeper. Finally, the fifth and most impactful sign is how she responds to your energy and attention. When a woman has gone without intimacy, she's naturally attuned to emotional and physical cues from men who matter. She notices how you carry yourself, the way you engage with her, and the subtle energy you project. Her behavior becomes a mirror of your confidence and presence. If you approach her with steady attention, playful energy, and genuine interest, she's likely to mirror that engagement in ways that are hard to ignore. Lingering touches, prolonged eye contact, teasing banter, or initiating closeness. This stage separates men who remain in the friend zone from those who spark genuine romantic desire. Essentially, the stronger and more consistent your energy, the more she responds with attraction rather than just friendliness. Recognizing these patterns is powerful because it allows you to see the signs before they become obvious. Touch, emotional reassurance, intentional time together, vulnerability, and responsiveness to your energy. They all work together to form a roadmap. Paying attention and responding with calm confidence lets you navigate these behaviors naturally. In the end, it's not about playing games or forcing closeness. It's about understanding subtle signals, honoring them, and meeting them with steady presence. When you do, you create an environment where desire can grow organically, and the woman in question starts seeing you not just as a friend, but as someone she truly wants to be closer to. Sometimes she might ask things like, "Am I coming on too strong?" or "Am I being too intense?" Often, she's not looking for a perfectly logical answer. What she really wants is to feel noticed and understood on a deeper level. If your response is automatic and shallow, like "no, you're fine," you risk missing the emotional impact completely. But if you take a moment and respond with intention, you can create a connection that sticks. For example, you could say something like, "It seems like you feel things deeply, and that's rare these days." Just a few words like that can make her feel truly seen, and many men overlook this entirely. The third sign is all about subtle shifts in her body language when she's around a strong masculine presence. This one's fascinating. When a woman hasn't had meaningful intimacy for a while, her limbic system, the part of the brain linked to attraction and desire, becomes more sensitive. She's more attuned to potential connection and attraction than usual, even if it's unconscious. You might notice her adjusting her hair more often when you're around, crossing and uncrossing her legs repeatedly, or subtly leaning toward you, even if you're sitting across the room. These are tiny micro expressions that often happen without her even realizing it. A lot of men make the mistake of thinking these signs mean they should immediately escalate things physically or emotionally. Doing that too quickly can actually push her away. The smarter move is to match her energy instead of overpowering it. If she leans in, you mirror her slightly. If she initiates light touch, respond naturally and respectfully. Attraction often works like a rhythm. You guide it gently without controlling it. And that's what makes you memorable and magnetic. The fourth sign shows up in the way she tests your emotional stability. After a long period of being alone or not receiving consistent masculine attention, many women build up emotional defenses. She wants to make sure that anyone she lets in isn't going to disrupt her equilibrium. You may notice this in subtle ways. She might share a small vulnerability to see how you react, or ask questions designed to gauge whether you stay calm and supportive. This isn't about manipulation, it's about self-protection. How you respond here matters deeply. By remaining steady, attentive, and genuinely empathetic, you communicate that you can be trusted with her emotions, and that kind of reassurance naturally deepens attraction. The fifth and most powerful sign is how she reacts to your energy and presence over time. When a woman has gone without intimacy, she becomes highly sensitive to how men make her feel. It's not just about physical touch, it's about how you carry yourself, the way you interact, and the vibe you project. If you maintain steady attention, confident energy, and a warm, playful approach, she's likely to mirror that engagement. You'll notice it in lingering touches, prolonged eye contact, playful teasing, or finding ways to be close to you. This is where the biggest difference appears between men who remain in the friend zone and those she starts desiring romantically. She responds to the energy you consistently bring, not just the words you say. Taken together, these signs, subtle touch, seeking emotional reassurance, body language cues, testing your stability, and responding to your energy, create a roadmap for understanding her interest before it's ever explicitly stated. The key is to observe carefully, respond thoughtfully, and maintain a calm, confident presence. You're not trying to force closeness or manipulate her feelings. You're simply acknowledging the signals she's sending and meeting them in a way that feels natural. When you do this, desire grows organically. She begins seeing you as someone distinct from a friend, someone she wants closer, someone she trusts emotionally and is drawn to physically. Understanding these behaviors is about more than just attraction. It's about reading human psychology, recognizing the emotional gaps caused by lack of intimacy, and responding with steady, grounded presence. Every subtle gesture she makes, every question she asks, every shift in her posture is an invitation. If you tune in, you not only notice these cues, but create the kind of connection that moves beyond casual interaction into genuine desire. This isn't about tricks or tactics, it's about observing, respecting, and engaging in a way that feels authentic. Over time, your thoughtful presence, calm confidence, and ability to mirror her energy become incredibly magnetic, transforming simple moments into profound attraction that she can't ignore. Before a woman allows someone into her private world, she wants to feel confident that you can accept her real self, not just the polished version she shows publicly. She may reveal something personal, and then carefully observe your reaction. Sometimes she might even introduce small disagreements or make slightly provocative comments, not to create drama, but to see if you can stay composed and emotionally grounded. Many men stumble here. They either try to fix her feelings as if it were a problem to solve, or they respond defensively. What she truly values is someone who listens without judgment, someone steady enough to support her emotions without losing their own balance. That kind of calm, mature presence communicates trustworthiness and safety on a level words alone can't reach. Now we arrive at the fifth and most powerful signal. She starts creating subtle opportunities for closeness. This sign can completely change the dynamic. When a woman wants connection but feels cautious about expressing it openly, she often finds socially comfortable ways to invite interaction. She might say something like, "Can you help me with something at my place?" Or, "I'd rather not watch this movie alone." These invitations allow intimacy to develop naturally without pressure. How you respond in these moments is critical. An inexperienced man may expect things to progress immediately, but a confident man understands that emotional safety comes first. Focus on building comfort, keeping conversation natural, sharing laughter, and letting closeness grow organically. When she starts leaning in, you remain relaxed, composed, and self-assured, rather than appearing desperate or rushing the process. Today, I've shared 5 signals that many men miss because they're too focused on trying to impress instead of truly observing and understanding her behavior. Now, you have insight that can give you a real advantage. Use this awareness responsibly, with respect, and with the intention of building genuine emotional connections. At the end of the day, that authenticity is what both partners are ultimately seeking. Connection isn't just about physical proximity, it's about being present, emotionally attuned, and creating an environment where both of you feel safe, seen, and understood. Pay attention to subtle touches, emotional reassurance, shifts in body language, tests of stability, and invitations for closeness. They're all signals, each one a window into her desires and boundaries. Respond with steady confidence, genuine interest, and patience, and you'll find the attraction deepens naturally. These behaviors aren't tricks, they're expressions of her emotional needs, and how you meet them shapes whether your bond remains friendly or blossoms into genuine romantic desire. Stay tuned for more insights in future discussions where we'll explore advanced communication techniques that strengthen emotional intimacy, increase attraction, and help you navigate relationships with clarity and confidence. Understanding these patterns gives you not just an edge, but the ability to foster real lasting connections built on mutual respect and authentic emotional engagement. When a woman has gone through a period without meaningful intimacy, her behaviors subtly shift in ways that are often overlooked. It's not about overt flirtation or conscious effort. It's about her body and mind seeking connection in ways that are instinctive and deeply human. Physical touch becomes more meaningful because it fulfills a biological need. Human skin is packed with oxytocin receptors, and without regular affectionate contact, her body experiences what some scientists call skin hunger. This doesn't mean she's trying to manipulate anyone. It's simply a natural response. The way she touches someone she's drawn to is usually subtle. Brushing shoulders, a light hand on the arm, adjusting a collar, or leaning slightly closer. These gestures are instinctive ways of testing a person's comfort and attentiveness. How a man responds to this sets the tone. If he reacts with ease, warmth, or playful reciprocity, it strengthens the emotional and physical bond. If he withdraws or appears uncomfortable, it can signal rejection, even if unintentionally. Beyond physical gestures, emotional reassurance becomes crucial. Women who haven't had consistent masculine attention often feel an emotional gap. This isn't about vanity, it's about needing to feel seen and understood. They may ask questions that seem simple on the surface, like, "Do you think I handled that well?" Or "Am I being too intense?" But these questions are probes to understand how emotionally stable and attuned the person they're interacting with is. Responding thoughtfully to these cues, acknowledging feelings, validating their experience, and showing steady presence builds trust. Men who dismiss these moments or respond superficially risk missing the opportunity to form a deeper connection. Body language also becomes a powerful indicator. Women naturally signal interest through micro-expressions when they are drawn to someone. Adjusting hair, shifting posture, leaning slightly forward, crossing and uncrossing legs, or mirroring gestures are all unconscious ways of expressing curiosity and attraction. These subtle cues often go unnoticed because they aren't dramatic or intentional, but they reveal a heightened awareness of potential connection. The key is not to overreact or force intimacy. It's to match the energy and allow a natural rhythm to form. Responding in kind with calm confidence mirrors her interest and deepens attraction. Testing emotional stability is another pattern that emerges. When a woman has been alone for a while, she may introduce small conflicts, provocative comments, or personal revelations to see how a man responds. This isn't manipulation. It's a way to gauge reliability and emotional grounding. Many men falter here, either by trying to solve the problem, like a technical issue, or reacting defensively. What women value most is a man who can listen, remain composed, and offer support without losing his own balance. Demonstrating this kind of emotional maturity often shifts a connection from casual to meaningful. Finally, women often create opportunities for closeness without directly stating desire. Invitations to watch a movie, help with something at home, or spend time together in a private setting are subtle ways of allowing intimacy to develop naturally. How a man navigates these situations makes a huge difference. Rushing or showing desperation can break trust, but staying relaxed, present, and confident encourages organic closeness over time. Repeated positive interactions in these safe, emotionally attuned contexts build desire and attraction, moving a bond from friendship into genuine romantic interest. The essence of all these behaviors is rooted in biology, psychology, and social nuance. Women unconsciously seek safety, understanding, and connection, and men who can recognize and respond appropriately create the conditions for authentic desire. It's not about tricks, manipulation, or superficial charm. It's about careful observation, emotional attentiveness, and respectful engagement. The interplay of touch, emotional reassurance, body language, testing stability, and creating private opportunities forms a complex yet intuitive roadmap of attraction. Learning to recognize and respond to these patterns allows a man to cultivate genuine emotional connections, deepen trust, and foster romantic desire naturally. The process rewards patience, presence, and emotional intelligence, and those who understand it can navigate relationships with clarity and authenticity.